Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, the host of this channel, and I'll be taking you on a journey through narcissism, understanding the narcissist, and understanding the narcissist-related disorders. Today I'm going to be presenting to you episode 91, and the title of episode 91 is Using the Narcissist Tactics Against Them, or Using Counter-Manipulation. Now, amongst narcissistic experts, there are a few varying viewpoints about the use of counter-manipulation against the narcissist. Of course, when you use any type of these tactics against a narcissist, especially a mid-level to greater level or higher than that, the first thing that's going to happen is that that narcissist is most likely going to turn around and point the finger at you as being the narcissist, because you have one-upped that narcissist by using their own type of tactics against them. Almost all mid-level to higher level narcissists will do this. They'll single you out, especially if you've suddenly outed them or something of this nature, and start to point at you at being the actual narcissist in this instance. So this is a behavior that they all do when you do something of this nature, or when you use some of their own tactics against them. It's a thing that you have to expect with narcissists. But here's the point of what I'm going to bring up here in this particular instance, and what most narcissistic experts actually say and what they actually explain. Narcissists are doing this to you because they are cornered. They're literally cornered like a scared rat. They don't know what to do. So the next thing that they do is they turn the situation around and they attack you with the same things that you are basically, making them guilty of, which is being a narcissist. This is what they do. It's a reactionary thing. It's a self-protection thing that they do. And they all do it. Strangely enough, there are very few narcissists that won't actually use that counter tactic against you, and by calling you out and calling you a narcissist because you've called them out or put them in a situation where you've outed them or whatever in this particular instance. Now, as far as narcissistic experts will say, and this goes for most of the ones I'm actually currently talking to and I do research with, as well as ones that are on the internet, they will usually say, and I agree completely with this, that it's like the narcissist pointing at you and saying that you're a narcissist is just them using a turnaround tactic with you. It doesn't mean that you yourself are narcissistic. Most victims who deal with narcissists turn out to not be narcissists themselves. They usually turn out to be empathic people, or empaths, or people who are, of that particular nature, and this is why the narcissist has attacked them and picked on them in the first place. It's because this is particularly the type of empathic individual that the narcissist likes to feed off of and likes to use, and that's why you were targeted in the first place and why you were used and selected by that narcissist. So the incidence of the narcissists themselves pointing this out to a victim that they're the narcissist, and that victim actually themselves being a narcissist, is actually very low. Because usually when you're put in a situation of this nature, victims are victims because they've done their best to try to curtail to the narcissist and try to make the narcissist happy. When a narcissist is picking out another narcissist, that other narcissist is not trying to make that narcissist happy. They're trying to do the exact same thing to that narcissist as that narcissist was doing to that other person. So very often when a narcissist deals with another narcissist, they often get into a situation where they either cancel each other out, or problems develop very early on. They realize what they're doing and something just doesn't work, and because they realize, that narcissists realize they may be dealing with another narcissist, that thing doesn't usually continue for any length of time, and it usually kind of implodes in some way on either of the two narcissists that are involved, because those two characters just clashing will just butt heads, and they usually can't make anything work or happen most of the time within the information that I know about narcissism and the research that I've done. Now, using counter manipulation or using the narcissist's own tactics against them. You know, a lot of people feel out there that doing this puts you down to the level of, you know, what the narcissist is doing to you, or makes you a narcissist yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you, from my own viewpoint and from the viewpoint of other narcissistic professionals out there, or other narcissistic abuse professionals, this is not the case. You cannot make a narcissistic individual out of a person who's an empath or something of this nature simply by using counter manipulation tactics on your narcissist. Narcissists, by their nature, when they're mid-levels or higher, sometimes even when they're lower levels, this is a clinical condition that the narcissist has. When they point the finger at you because you've used some of their own manipulation tactics or tactics against them, it does not make you a narcissist. You're simply mirroring what that narcissist is doing, and often people who are doing this are simply doing this simply to learn whatever the narcissist is and to get some of that narcissistic energy, negative energy that the narcissist is putting on them, away from them and back on the narcissist. And this is what you're doing. So using counter manipulation tactics, it does not make you a narcissist if you're doing this. There's a ton of experts on the internet who you can look up who will all give you information on this. Dr. Ramani talks about this. There's a whole bunch of other experts that talk about this. They all have the same kind of viewpoint towards this, where they say if you are doing this with a narcissist, it does not make you a narcissist back. Even if the narcissist is calling you a narcissist for using their own manipulation tactics on them, it does not make you a narcissist. That narcissist is dealing with you in those severe ways because they are a clinical narcissist, and this is part of their psychological makeup. It's part of their psychopathy that they have going on within their disorders, and they are doing this because they are using psychopathic behavior against you to manipulate you, and then turning it around on you to say you're doing the same thing to them. This in no way means that you are a narcissist yourself, unless you actually are a narcissist. But like I said, in about 90 to 95% of the time when a narcissist is dealing with you, they're not dealing with another narcissist. It does happen, and when it does happen, those incidences usually don't last very long between two narcissists. It usually explodes on them for some particular reason, and they don't continue to deal with each other. It happens most prevalently when a narcissist is dealing with an empathic person, and when they're dealing with another person who is giving them lots of attention, lots of energy, lots of fuel. And of course, when we out that narcissist, when we're no longer ready to take their bullshit and stuff like this, that is when the narcissist will usually turn on us and use some of that counter manipulation on the empathic person that they're dealing with and calling them a narcissist themselves or stuff like this. So, is it right to use counter manipulation tactics on a narcissist, or use the own narcissist tactics to use a narcissist's own tactics against them? Sure. These are people who are using you. They're putting you in a position where they have no other interest in you other than to get fuel out of you, to do whatever it is the hell they want to do with you, with no regard to you, to your feelings, to how they harm you emotionally or whatever like this. So all's fair in love and war, quite frankly, and if a narcissist is doing this to you and you suddenly decide to do it back to them, good. Teach them a lesson. Narcissists sometimes have karma to learn and things to get themselves into. Sadly, most of the time when they get dealt karma, it doesn't click in their brains most of the time. They just continue on being narcissists, especially if they're mid-levels or higher levels, and it doesn't usually change much of anything with them. But by all means, if you feel you want to do this with a narcissist, there is nothing ethically wrong with this. There is nothing that a psychologist will tell you is ethically wrong with this. And by all means, if you want to do this, go ahead and do it. You would definitely have my blessing. You will have the blessing of many other psychologists that are out there. And again, this does not make you a narcissist because you happen to be using the narcissist tactics against them. So, this has been episode 91. I just wanted to talk briefly about this particular topic. I'm going to say to you guys, stay tuned. I've got some new episodes coming up. I've got some other episodes coming up on the Unmasking the Narcissist channel as well too. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll catch you again very soon in some new episodes.